Good evening, race fans, and welcome to Race Rivals Race Chat, where we talk about all kinds of things going on in the motorsports world. I'm Clinton Geoffrey. As always, with me is Adam Ross. And Adam, it's been a big week here locally with some great action. We had our crew back out doing some more stuff. Of course, if you're any type of race fan, how could you miss what's gone on in NASCAR the past few weeks, and especially the last 24 hours?
Last few weeks.
Yeah.
Let's focus on 48 hours, and I think we'll have enough to fill a month worth of programming.
Yeah, I think why I said the last few weeks is because I was kind of disturbed by something I saw them do at a race a couple weeks ago. Not disturbed, it just wasn't my cup of tea. So I'm gonna try and be as middle of the road we can. We've got touchy subjects, and I don't want to piss our careers away tonight. At least I know I don't. So we have a great show. We got a lot of stuff, cool stuff to talk about. We've got some new exciting news coming up. We've got some new races to announce. It's just we're gonna do our thing. So viewers, if you're with us, feel free to comment and throw your suggestions out and your topics that you want us to talk about. And from there on out, we're going to jump right in. So, Adam, we were at Operation Green Flag, mission number 2 at Flamborough on Saturday. I thought the racing came off really good. The Caselli family did an amazing job showing the track off. But before we get into talking about all that, let's just throw a you make the call out there. We'll play the video of, you can set up the clip, Adam, and then we'll let the fans make the decision and maybe spur some on discussion as we start to talk about our day at Flamborough.
Yeah, I don't think we need to set it up. Let's just watch it. We're going to talk about it quite a bit. And where's the best place to chat it? So we're sort of hanging out in the G-Force Facebook and
wherever you're watching, we'll get the comments.
And of course, GeForceTV.net.
Roll it, Spence.
That's... So that view didn't do much.
Okay, so there's a better one. Do we get a slow-mo of that, Spencer? Can you slow that down? So heading down out of turn number 2 down the back straightaway, for some reason, the 3 there. Okay, stop right there if you can, Spence, or back it up a couple of things. I know I'm putting you through it here. But the one spot there, it looks like the 3 just turns hard right at him. So was it this is a great view. Hold it right there, Spencer. So you want to set it up, Adam? Just for the viewers who, we've had a chance to digest it over the past couple of days. I've watched it a bunch myself. Pack racing, and somehow the 3 car of Shea Gemmel gets turned right into the left rear of Fitzpatrick and causes a wreck that takes out Brandon Watson.
See, I think you set it up wrong already.
Then you should have set it up the first time.
You told the wrong, incorrectly. You said inaccurately what happened.
I'm spouting fake racing news now.
The 3 didn't turn right before the 84 turned left.
See, is that opinion or is that fact?
Watch the video.
All right, let it roll, Spence. Play it a couple more times more if you can, Spencer, while we watch it. We'll see it from different angles too.
The other angle.
So.
I'm at a loss. Like that.
At first, on the spot, and you and I've been through this a lot. You watch an incident and you can't make. We call it one way on the track, but then you get to see it later and you realize, okay, that wasn't really what happened because we just called it in heat of what we thought we saw. And I think that was the same kind of thing. We didn't know what caused it. Even when I saw it in the replay the first few times, I thought maybe a trailing arm broke on the 3 and he took that hard right. But there in that other angle coming down the back straightaway into our turn 3 camera, you can kind of see that, Fitzpatrick comes a little bit to the left like you stated. I don't know, fans, let us know what you think and we'll talk
Spencer,
about it.
You got to back it up a little further than that. Like the cars are already moving. I shouldn't speak to Spencer like that. He is the magician. He is the guru of the video.
There you go.
So that's my look. So back that up and pause it right at the start of where you did there. And then I'm going to set the stage for you a little bit. Okay. So here we have the field of cars on a restart racing down the back straightaway. Generally, the popular move at Flamborough Speedway is to get to the inside. Get down to the bottom, unless you can make a move on the outside. So unless you're Trayton Lapsovich up on the outside of DJ Kennington, you might try to make the outside work. Deeper through the field, you're generally going to try to get to the bottom of the track. So Spencer, can you slow motion that forward? We're looking to see whether the 3 moved up or the 84 moved down. What might have happened first? Right there. The 84 is moving down, in my opinion. So back that up just a hair, Spencer, and did the 3 move up before the 84 moved down? Not
Well,
that I saw. So in my estimation, the 84 is now halfway to the bottom lane. And the 3 cars, I don't know if they're friends off the track or not, but I know they've had some history that they weren't thrilled with.
but that was the first of a few incidences at Flamborough, and I don't know. Let us know what you think. We'd love to hear your comments and questions on that, and we'll kind of take an informal poll and see where we get with that. But let's start off with our day. So if you're new to our program here, we're talking about Operation Green Flag, which is a series of events that has gotten Flamborough, Merrittville, and Humberstone Speedway up and racing with no fans and helped them get the product out there on our channel on GeForce TV for free as it happens live with the full program. And then our magician Spencer has gone and magically turned it into a television program, which will air the first mission from Humberstone on June 13th. Will air tonight directly following this program on Rev TV Canada, which was formerly Mav TV on your programming. So make sure you check that out. It is the 1 hour broadcast of the Lockdown Showdown from Humberstone. That's June 13th. And that is tonight on Rev on 9 p.m. Our second mission was Flamborough, and that was Saturday when we went out and captured that. That'll air next Tuesday at 9 p.m. And of course, Tuesday 9 p.m., Thursday 9 p.m., also midnight tonight. It's going to air a lot, so make sure you check it out. But Adam, when we got to Flamborough early Saturday morning, it was great, man. The place looked amazing. The Caselli family and all their crew painted the walls. The grass was cut, man. It just looked gorgeous. Like it's going to show up so awesome on TV. And that was the consensus, even from a lot of our crew who hadn't been there in a while. Greg Boydell mentioned, he said, "Wow, I can't believe how nice this place is now. It was 25 years ago I was here last," and that's great to hear.
It is the place, and I mean, they said it was going to. The nice thing is they said they were going to do it, and they delivered. John and Frank said the walls are going to be painted, the curbs on the infield track are going to be painted, and I mean, the place looks dynamite. It looked $1 million. The atmosphere was fantastic. The tone from the racers, people for the most part cooperated with what they needed to do. There was a couple of exceptions, Clinton, but there's been that at both races we've had so far. It was temporary and it got sorted out.
Yeah, I think our crew has improved our game a little bit from week to week. We still have some issues we'll work on, and but I was happy to see all the comments, as was our whole crew. We appreciate all the support, everybody. It seemed to be a lot of positive feedback on the show from Flamborough, and that was great for us. We're all about bringing as much viewership as we can to these other places, and it's exciting to be able to give their fans the inside look, kind of the way we were on Saturday. And some other great action. The Canadian Vintage Modifieds put on a fantastic show. They brought a great car count. The whole day was just set really well with the car count we had, the caliber of drivers we had. Anything you want to add to that before we look at John Carley's ride?
Well, before we look at John Carley go out of the ballpark, we should congratulate him on a great job. I mean, to pull out 23 cars for that event, not all of them made it to the race, but they were all there to practice. I mean, mechanical gremlins, but by and large, it was a really impressive showing. And let's have a look at his mishap. That would have been awful. Wow. I mean, you know what? As bad as
And that was a long skid down that wall. That was a big rail slide for John there.
Yeah, from that look, it appeared to be a one-car accident, but he had some help there. There was some contact with the eventual winner, TJ Marshall, that got John turned the wrong way. And that's one observation that's always been made of Flamborough Speedway since they repaved it back in the late 90s, was the wall is on a slight angle. And when you hit it, you generally launch into the air, and that's what Carly did, and went for a long, long slide around the corner. So heavy damage to that race car. Thankfully, he didn't hit the butt end of that wall, um, and he climbed out of the car on his own. So that was great news.
Now, you and the crew were calling it from right there. That must have been quite the view coming right into your lap as you see John Carly skidding down the front straightaway right at you guys. But as you mentioned, a lot of lap sponsors got on board, Adam, and a lot of great support for the Canadian Vintage Modifieds. And congrats goes out to their crew and their supporters for getting that club back up. And the first event, I would have to say, was a smashing success, pun intended. And here's some of the rest of the action we had going on. Spencer, feel free to run any of the clips we had as we had it. But as we mentioned, if you haven't seen it yet, you can go back here on the channel, GeForceTV.net, pick up the entire program. It's available. It's around 10,000 views already, so that's great. As we mentioned, it'll air nationally on Rev TV Canada next Tuesday and Thursday at 9 p.m., which is prime time action. And, for many years, Adam, when our sport got on national TV, it'd be tucked at 11 a.m. while everybody was at work. So thankfully, our guys are going to get some prime time spots, and everybody can have a watch party and really enjoy it. So we want to thank everybody at Rev TV and all the supporters who've gotten behind this Operation Green Flag series of events. We're only 2 in of 6 so far, and excited about where we've got to go and where we're going to run with this. There you see eventual winner DJ Kennington. As he gets out of his car, he was able to hold on for both 30-lap segments and win the overall 60-lap race.
Stands, even
Go
though
ahead.
there was nobody in them. I thought that was a classy touch.
Yeah, the whole race came off really good. So kudos to the Casellis, Doug Leonard, Gary Calling, John Carly, all the sponsors and everybody who got behind that deal, as it took a lot to get it going. We know there is inklings of other events, and we'll be back at Flamborough 2 weeks' time on July 4th for Pure Stocks, Mini Stocks, and Super Stocks. And I thought that was a pretty good deal. And this week that was the place where you really cut your teeth, Adam, and got your start, and that's part of the intro. And the opener was Flamborough. And this week we go to a place that I kind of got my start. My first announcing job ever was at Merrittville Speedway 25 years ago. So to go back home there, and that was the place where my family raced the most and got going. So mission number 3 will be Merrittville Speedway with Sportsman Mini Stocks and the Action Sprint Tour. I know we've got 28 cars and more trying to get into the Action Sprint Tour race. They're only down to a few more spots available for the Sportsman and Mini Stocks. So that is this Saturday live on GeForce TV at 7 p.m. Operation Green Flag Mission Merrittville kicks off. It'll be our first of 2 events there, and we're excited to have that. Adam, what are your thoughts on that, going back to Merrittville, a place that has put on some great racing over the years? I'm excited because I've always known how the video works there, but super excited to bring a 5 to 7 camera package to Merrittville. And even for the diehard fans who watch the videos of guys like Sean Robertson, who's now working on our crew, Chris Hawkins, and the like back through the years, you're going to get a whole new view of Merrittville Speedway. So for the fans at home, and even if you go there every week and sit in the stands, the speed shot's going to be awesome. We're working on the in-car camera still to perfect that. It worked fabulous in the dirt tracks at Humberstone. Struggled a bit last week on the pavement tracks with all the windshields on these cars, but the dirt cars are very conducive to getting that picture back wirelessly, and we're excited to get the fans some wicked views from Merrittville, hopefully looking out the front this weekend.
Yeah, it should be a great show. I mean, all of our shows are they all have the potential to be really fun, really good races. I was super impressed Saturday with the racing that was put on. That was unfortunate that Fitzpatrick, Brandon Watson, and Shea Gemmell all got taken out in the same accident, but there was action all throughout the race. I was really pumped up to see Sean Chenoweth have a good run, and Matt Box have a good run especially. I mean, he's someone who has struggled for a little while. He's a good driver. He just needed things to go right for him. So it was good to see him hold it together for the 60 laps and come home with a great result. So that was fun to see. And folks, give us your opinions, because we know a lot of you are dirt fans. And we also know that a lot of you, even though you wouldn't generally take in some asphalt racing, that you did tune in Saturday to take it in. So let us know what your thoughts are. And we have got some comments on the Facebook stream here, Clinton, asking about grass on the Ashwegan infield. And I would love to see that because I just think it makes things look so good, but there must be reasons why there's not.
Yeah, the I just take it back a couple years ago. I was staying up at Glenn's cottage. We went there for a day just to hang out. And at the end of the night, we threw in some old DVDs, and it was Oshweekend from like 2008, and it had the most lush green grass all through the infield, and it looked so awesome. The best thing I can tell you is there's been so many changes at Oshweek in the past few years with configuration, the infield wall, the new victory lane pad, all these different things. There's been different types of grading. We've had a motorcycle dirt motocross kind of a TT track, they call it, through the infield. We used to have go-karts in the infield, and I think it just got basically wore out to the point that it wasn't working. They did plant some grass, but I think it's going to take a real effort to get it together. The big thing, though, what I can say, Adam, is it's just the constant flow of construction going on there. Grass is more of a permanent thing. Once you lay it down, you want to really try and take care of it. So I think you're going to see us continue to improve the infield. I go back to an old video I see of Eldora, and it reminds me a lot of present day Oshweekend, and I could see us getting to like where things are at Eldora. Some of the plans that came across my nose today, Adam, and I think you got a whiff of it too. There's some amazing stuff going to be happening out there. Glenn Stiers, if you're wondering what's going on with the racing out there, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But he's certainly not slowed down, and I think it's going to be totally amazing once we get it going. But that's the long answer to why we don't have grass, is it's the constant construction going on. Like even this year, we talked about putting possibly a pit road in for the NASCAR race. So, you invest all that time and energy into grass, and then you just tear it up. So, any other question or comments from the Facebook page we should be addressing before we cruise on through?
It's a good one from Craig Franklin. Said, have you guys ever thought about airing Operation Green Flag events on radio as well? And my answer, I answered him in text if you saw me type in there a minute ago, and I said it's not a bad idea, but a radio broadcast is actually quite a bit different from a video broadcast in how you describe things, how you call the action. And I think our product is really more tuned to a video broadcast. Personally, there's people who do great radio broadcasts, but I think for what we've got and for the team we've got, I think we're better off with video stream.
Sure, I think with today's day and age, YouTube reaches the world. It's free. Pretty much everybody has it. If you have any data on your phone, you can get it. You can stream it for free, high quality. So, my suggestion would be stick your phone in your pocket, put your earphones in, and listen to the call of the race. It is basically there in audio form. But if you mean like on Sirius Radio or something like that, hadn't really thought of it. This is kind of a short-term project, Adam, and I guess we can talk about that. Now, we had some supporters who got behind this deal to bankroll, if you will, the stream cost for these tracks to put together 6 events to kind of get, like we said, Operation Green Flag, to get the engine going of the industry here in Ontario, help out both the dirt and pavement tracks. This wasn't just a Flamborough exclusive thing. It was offered to, well, let's just go around the dirt tracks first. Oshweekend, not really ready or interested. We're still in construction mode, and we were in lockdown until pretty much a week ago. So that wasn't a possibility when all these came about. Brighton, they're in the same boat. Ange and Mark, they weren't really in a position to do anything without fans at this point in time. So we understand their position, and that left, Humberstone and Merrittville, who were really excited to get events going. Humberstone's the reason we kicked this all off, because Dave had the plan first, and that math was kind of brought to the other place and showed them how it could work. And from there, it kicked off. And then we went to the asphalt. I mean, let's be straight. We talked to Oscar. We talked to Sunset. We talked about Delaware. We talked about Kawartha. And the only one that could actually get it together and make the math work and put all the pieces in place was Flamborough. So we tried to spread it as best we can. And for now, it'll be a 6-race series. That doesn't mean there couldn't be more. It just means the freebie to the tracks and series for the streaming service is dried up. So if you're interested in doing more events, it's definitely super cost effective. And you and I are both salesmen. We can help them get it done. but the freebie for the broadcast service is not there. Anything you want to comment on that, Adam? Did I hit it right?
No, you said it all. You got it just right. I did notice Sean Chenoweth commented a little while back on the feed. He can only hope something broke on the 3 car, and that's sort of the question: is when did that track bar mount or whatever it was that broke in the rear end of the car? When did that break? But early in the race, and some of that is off-season rust, right? People hadn't been out competing for weeks and weeks and weeks, so it does take a little bit of time to get your timing back. And unfortunately, that wasn't a very good start for them.
We were talking about Maryville setting it up a bit, and we had someone, Wesley, asked about the roster of drivers, and it's funny you asked that because we started reaching out to them yesterday. So I do have it here in a bit of a message stream that we can run through. So I can give you through some of the guys: DJ Christie, Tyler Ward, Daryl Pelche, who's a rookie this year, Lucas Smith, Cody Smith, Lucas's brother, who will also be a rookie, Paul Kleger, Josh Hansen, Jerry Hill, Trevor Young, Alan Downey, Jesse Costa, Larry and Eric Gledhill. Larry will be a rookie as well. Dave McKnight Jr. Mike Bowman is an interesting one. We'll get back to there in a minute. Adrian Stolley, Liam Martin, Darren Dryden. I'm sure I'm missing. These are the only ones who've responded already. Stephen Beckett. And the list goes on of drivers: Noel Teal, Rob Neely, Brett Stratford, Jacob Dykstra, Nick Sheridan, Derek Lemaire, Johnny Miller, and Steve Murdoch. So that's the quick list of drivers who responded to our request for sponsor and information. So a heck of an actual sprint tour driver roster for this Saturday. And we're going to announce another race coming up for them here on the show very shortly.
I don't think the other Smith is Lucas's brother. I think he only has a sister, Dominique.
Oh, I could be
wrong,
then.
but I think there's only 2 of them.
Yeah, now I got to look back through my messages and find that.
We'll get to the bottom of it, and we'll present who everybody. Did I ever step on my dink at Flamborough doing the lineup introductions? After all these events, we kind of regroup, Clinton, and obviously, I'm not telling you anything you're not aware of. We go back and forth. Okay, guys, here's what went well. Here's where we could have done a little bit better. The things that went well, the replays were fantastic. The images were phenomenal. The camera people were on point this weekend. What could have been better? I flubbed the starting lineups because I was waiting for something to happen while I should have been given the lineups, and half the fields didn't get introduced in the races. So I'm like, oh man, what a dumb thing to do. But by and large, it's a good show. But you want to make sure that you get everybody their credit and their just rewards.
I want to send a shout out to my brother Mikey. I noticed he just posted a video on Facebook. Mikey was messing around on his Sea-Doo and got hit off his Sea-Doo last week, and he was supposed to be racing for the Stelter team this year with the ESS, but the border was closed. Started messing around with Sea-Doo, got clipped, and last week broke 4 ribs, punctured a lung, and ruptured his spleen. He got out of the hospital late last night. So my little brother Mikey, hopefully you're feeling better, bud, and enjoy the rest because you're not going to be doing much else this summer. And glad you didn't get it in the head because they don't wear helmets on those things, and ribs are better than your face. So,
no doubt.
Adam,
Cody is the crew chief for Lucas.
Okay.
We've had it corrected by a few people, so
that's same last name, same team, but not related. And now
it's like Alan Johnson and Jack Johnson, right? Yeah, apparently.
I had the same problem at Merrittville. Speaking of that, it was Saint Amand and Saint Amand's. They're same but not related. And isn't that the hardest thing as an announcer, though? And when you go to a new series, and I've said this story before, you get out there and you don't know. Like, my biggest story there was Kelly Hallett as a rookie announcer. We don't even think about it. It's the first time you ever cross this situation. You get a new racer in, the racer's whipping everybody's ass, and Kelly Hallett, and you're thinking, oh, man, she's killing everybody.
Really good.
She's really whipping their butts tonight. And then Kelly Hallett gets out, and if you know Kelly, he's a freaking linebacker of a man. And you're like, and you don't know it till he gets out, and for 20 minutes you feel like the biggest dork ever. And that happened to me with Oscar too, but this time I didn't step on it so hard. I'm playing it middle of the road, and it was with Jody Bound, and I'm out there and I'm like and I don't have a radio to Dave Gainford. I'm like, can someone tell me, is this a man or a woman? I don't mean to be rude. I just didn't know. I was new to the series, and those are the nuances you can't pick up off paper. No amount of notes are going to help you with that as an announcer. You just got to figure that out. So, Spencer, I'm going to send you a couple pictures. If we can get them up, we'll keep cruising on that. But Adam, I think that's all we got to say about Merrittville. They got a great field of sportsmen, great crew of mini stocks. Adam, you talked to Erica this week about sponsors who got on board for the mini stocks, and it was a list of people. I don't want to read it right now, but the story, I think, was they had some sponsors get behind to help the mini stocks with their registration for this week, because it is costly. It's $50 a person. Mini stocks get paid the least out of everybody on that deal. Can you refer to that while I look for these pictures for Spencer for a second? Do you know what happened there?
I don't.
Oh, okay.
Sorry
Well,
about that.
thanks for nothing. You let me go all the way on the path like I was gonna be able to fix you up.
Well,
and then
you kept
just
saying
like,
I got to
I
pay
can't help you.
attention tonight. I got to be on the ball. I don't know what I don't know, man.
Yeah, we know that by now. So let's talk the next event, Adam. This will be our sixth and final free event for the stream team, as at least as it goes for the funding side. It will be Humberstone Speedway, July 12th. Flyer comes out tomorrow. Registration opens tomorrow. I just got confirmation from Dave Bittner that we are allowed to drop the ball here on the show and let it out of the bag. So Humberstone Speedway, Sunday, July 12th, which will be the day after our Merrittville 360 and 358 race, which is going to be big news too. And then we're going to jump right back into it. It's going to be the late model open. So if you have a late model here in Ontario, that means if you were a Southern Ontario Motor Speedway car, a Brighton car, or a Humberstone car, you're eligible to race in this event, which should bring quite the car count for the late models and get them on Operation Green Flag with our crew, which is going to be super exciting. Also, it will be the mini stocks, the sportsman, and the action sprint tour. So registration will open 4 divisions, and that will be next the next event to be announced here for Operation Green Flag, Sunday, July 12th. Late model open, action sprint tour, sportsman, and mini stocks. That's going to be quite the show as well. And I know for the action sprint tour guys, they'll be excited to get back out there and make something happen. Adam, your thoughts on going back to where we were?
It makes sense to me, Clinton. I love going to every place twice because we know what we can do better. At Humberstone, we've already debriefed after that. I think it's going to look fantastic on TV. Now, was it on tonight or Thursday?
No, it's on tonight at 9 o'clock.
It's tonight at 9 o'clock. So as soon as you're done this, if you have Rev TV, fire it up. You're going to see that program condensed. Was it condensed to 1 hour? I think I read. See, I skip over a lot of the technical stuff. Like in our chats when Clinton and Spencer are talking techno bullshit, I like just tell me when this applies to me because they're talking about technology and ways we can do this and ways we can do that. And I just want to push a button on my remote and see the magic pictures come up on the screen.
Well, you do a good job of that. Spencer, I just sent you 2 pictures. Let me know when you got them and you're ready to air them. So we've got a couple other things going on. We're going to jump into an open discussion about the Bubba Wallace situation with the FBI and the noose and everything that's gone on there. We're going to talk a bit about Ush Weekend still coming up, and then we're going to open up to viewers if you have anything else you want to discuss. At any point through this program, let us know if you want to get in on the discussion. We'd love to hear your questions, comments, and your opinions. The show is for you guys and kind of me and Adam to get out here and just talk about what's going on. Some cool stuff. So Spencer, roll those pictures for me one at a time if you can. So we've got some masks for sale that we got produced here for our race fans. First off, for our Weekend fans, these masks are going to be on sale at Steyer's Gas Bar and some of the places around our Weekend starting this weekend. They'll go for $15 if you're interested in that. It's a great souvenir for our Weekend. Helps you dirt tracks and also helps you with your social distancing and practicing your safety out in public. And also, the other mask we've got is our GeForce Epic TV, and it actually says Epic Racewear, not GeForce TV. I say the wrong picture. We've actually changed it a little bit. We've got our partners in on Epic, and if you come back to my live screen, Spencer, I've got it up live here. I've got one of the masks in place. So we're going to drop these for $5 just to keep everybody safe. So I'll also have these at Steyer's Gas Bar. If you're interested in get them, send us a message. We'll get them to you. So once again, these over-the-ear masks will be $5 a piece. These sleeve ones with the double logo will be $15. Let us know if you want them. We'll have them at the tracks and at Operation Green Flag for the next couple weeks. We can also help you get them out there. I like the full neck mask. It's going to be awesome when you get out to the dirt tracks on those dusty nights, even after social distancing isn't a priority anymore. So let us know if you want to do that. Just want to pass those along. We got them made and didn't want to add them. The weeks keep passing by and I keep forgetting to tell people we've got them. And hopefully comes a time when we don't need them anymore and we stuck with the stock. So let's get them out there. Let's get them into the fans' hands. And if you're going to be at Merrittville this weekend in a race team, let us know what you want. I want to jump back to Merrittville for a second, Adam. Talk about Mike Bowman jumping into the crate sprint of Terry Baker. Terry Baker broke his foot. They want to get a replacement driver. Of course, Baker, friends with Cadman, who's cousins with Bowman, and the cycle goes around. I think Mike Bowman is going to be pretty good in this car. He drove it at practice last week, said it wasn't quite as fast as he thought it would be, but it's got a crate motor instead of his 358 and the big blocks he's used to. He said his experience coming off the bottom in turn 4 should help him, and his times were comparable to Liam Martin. And I told him, Martin's the kid to beat right now, and if you can keep up with him, you're on the right path. Your thoughts on Mike Bowman jumping into the Action Sprint Tour event? I know for a lot of us, it'll be great to get some of those guys into our fold.
He'll figure it out. I mean, he knows what he's doing. Most of the guys that have jumped from modifieds to sprint cars have had some success. Larry White, Mike Mahaney, Ryan Susi. All of them jumped into 360s and 410s, but this won't be a whole lot different. Mike Bowman, a former go-kart racer, so he's used to having to be smooth, and that should pay off. I think he'll do just fine.
Yeah, locally, the list goes on and on of drivers who did well when they got out of those cars and into sprint cars. I could probably name off 10 of them right now. I want to send a shout out to another guy who's a bit close to us, JT Miller. JT has wanted to be back racing street stocks for a long time, told me at a Super Bowl party that he was going to get it done. He went out, bought a car, and practiced Saturday at Merrittville. And JT, congrats, buddy. That's what it's all about, setting a goal and going out for it. And proud of you, man, to get it back together and get out there. Good luck from all of us here at G-Force TV. JT, we love you, buddy. And, Adam, we needed a camera guy many years ago at Dirt Week. Pulled JT out for a few years there. He was our go-to guy. Had a great time with him at Syracuse and always. So best of luck, JT, out there. And let's jump into the Bubba situation. Adam, wow.
Yes, we're going to talk about Bubba Wallace. He rage quit an iRace. Can you believe it? Like, he was in an iRace and he got mad and he just left. That's the incident you're talking about, right?
Just think when that was the biggest story, all we had to talk about. And I was going back today and thinking, man, for racing headlines, 2020 sucked. Was there any good thing that happened in 2020 so far in racing that we could hang our hat on?
Ryan Newman lived.
Okay, I'll give
really,
you that.
But you're right.
I was there.
It's just been one.
I was there. I walked out of Daytona thinking we watched him die that night. So I'll give you that. That was on my negative side, though. I was going to say, Ryan Newman got, that terrible crash. That was the bad story. So let's just talk about bad starts, not happy endings. There were a lot of bad starts to these stories, and who knows where this Bubba whole deal is going to end up. It's still very fresh, sort of close to this story, Adam, to this show, because we got Matt Weaver on this show a few times. And his name was bounced around at the core of this through Auto Week, through everything. You reached out to Matt. I've tried to get him on the show the last couple weeks. He's been a bit tied up, and I was shocked when I saw his name listed with all this. What can you speak to that part of it with Matt Weaver and what's going on?
The trouble is Matt Weaver is on the scene. And if two spokespeople – sorry, Clint, go ahead.
I just want to say I don't want to come off ignorant and give the wrong impression of where Matt lied in that, because I haven't got all the pieces together yet. So I was just hoping you could explain it a bit better than I could.
Someone made a big mistake. So someone screwed up. So who found this? So now in the statements, it's a rope. Up until about 3 hours ago, it was a noose that was found in the 43 pit. And there's so much nonsense surrounding it. So I want to separate what's real and what's fake. and it all reminds me of professional wrestling, Clinton, because professional wrestling is exactly what we're seeing right now. It's propaganda. It's people taking situations and absolutely blowing them out of proportion to the point where you're not sure what's real and what's not. To me, what's real in this situation is the authentic reactions of people supportive of Bubba Wallace in a time when it was perceived he needed support. People wanted to stand behind him and say, look, we've got your back. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. They should have his back. There were things happened that were moving, but things that happened to poke the bear in the background, nobody's saying who found this rope in the garage area. Lots of pictures have surfaced now about what they might have been talking about or what they might not have been talking about. Clinton, if someone found
Be
a
careful.
mouse in their Big Mac container, would they tell you the story, or would you see a picture of a mouse in a Big Mac container?
Well, I think that was the biggest complaint that everybody had for the doubting side yesterday. Where's the pictures? We live in a Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram world. How was there not a picture of that attached to the story, which would have made everybody go, wow? In the climate of how it's been the past few weeks, I think there was a lot of overreaction in many ways. I mean, I think NASCAR has overreacted in many ways for many weeks now. I mean, my, you know, my whole frustration with this, Adam, is I want to take everything out of the sport and even down to the prayer. And I'll take a shit kicking for this, but we go there to watch it. So if I'm not a Christian person, I'm not into Catholicism. Maybe I don't believe in God. Whatever the case may be, why do I have to listen to a prayer before we go to race? I don't have to put up with that with the NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball. Can we not just drop the green flag, drop the checkered flag? Let's let it be about the teams, the businesses that support it, the sponsorships, and leave all the politics and all the stuff out of it. The stuff that NASCAR has done in the past couple weeks have alienated a lot of fans. What they did yesterday by rolling Bubba out by himself with all the people behind him and all the thing, it looked ingenuine. You know what I mean? It looked
I
staged.
would disagree with that.
I
Because I thought it seemed authentic to me. The people are supportive of Bubba. As you say, maybe you're right. Maybe it was choreographed.
Well, are you telling me? Of course it was choreographed. Somebody had to tell all those drivers to be on the line and make sure you're holding onto Bubba's door and walking up with Kyle Busch, the baddest ass and the biggest dick in racing, holding on to the side of the car right there, the one up there, cuddling up to Bubba right first. And I mean, we're going to talk about Oshweekend and the climate of racism there. We've flourished in 30 years in what's been the most controversial
well,
area thing. We'll get to that in a minute, but I just think, and even backing it up a week at the Folds of Honor race at Atlanta, they fielded on the pace lap, then they stopped them. They listened to an announcement from the president of NASCAR, and then we watch a montage of the races, and then they start the drivers. So the drivers are sitting in their car through all this. It's not the time or the place. If NASCAR wants to throw their politics out there, that's one thing. But we come to watch a race. We don't come to have this stuff. And yeah, America's all about freedom. That's not freedom. That's cramdom. They're cramming that down our throat, whether it be
so
religion, whether it be politics, whether it be whatever it is. Let's go racing. We go to other sports
so
to have
here,
the sport.
right? Fair enough. Here is where I think the name Matt Weaver could come into these stories, because there's people with integrity. I believe in my heart, Matt Weaver is one of those people who has integrity, who asks the right questions. You can only work from the answer you're given unless it's something you can see with your own eyes, Clinton. And I've been through it. I believe you've been through it, where people will tell you things that you know damn well are not true, but that's the statement they're going with. And what else can you do? What disappoints me is people who work in this industry and who have drank the Kool-Aid. People who get vocal, people who have really big soapboxes and radio programs that thousands and thousands of people listen to, that spout off and name call and disrespect others for voicing their opinions, which is backed with a certain degree of fact. And then when the truth comes out, they're nowhere to be found. But they sure were vocally supportive of NASCAR and their story, and the truth is going to come out, and you'll see. Okay, well, the truth came out. Where are you now? Like, some people need to issue some serious apologies for the shit kicking they gave on social media to others who would dare question that this story was not going to pan out, that the FBI was there and they were going to uncover the truth. Well, oops, they uncovered the truth, didn't they? Now, it may also come out that this isn't true. You know, maybe there's going to be another story comes out and they'll say, well, this was a cover up of a cover up. The point is, be careful what you let fall out of your blowhole, because people are listening. The shit that you type on social media, the stuff that we say on the air with a camera pointed at us, Clint, it matters. You know what I mean? Like, you can't run people into the ground for telling you what they believe to know, and then come to find out they were right. Their soapbox isn't as big as yours, so you've already won that fight. It's nonsense.
I think, it's one thing I tell my 14-year-old daughter, you don't need to really be out waving the flag hard on one side or the other, because facts change and you may look like an idiot down the line. Try and make the best opinion you can. I think the sport needs to leave all of that out of the way. It's just it's distancing a lot of people from it's going the wrong way from where it was supposed to be, I think. And I think it's backfiring. Whatever they were trying to do with the politics of bringing it into the races and the black and all that,
No,
it's
it's not. Bubba
well,
Wallace was
if you
on The
subscribe.
View this morning. They have got more media coverage. Like, Bubba Wallace could
Okay,
go on any
okay, I'll
any
put it to you
media
this way
outlet
then.
he wanted.
Yes, let me put it to you this way though. Um, the media outlets he's going on, so it's distancing away from its core fans. Its core fans are getting less and less attracted to the product, what's going on. Sure, the mainstream media wants him today, but they're not going to give a shit about him tomorrow when this whole thing blows
Well,
over.
that's
Just like the only local media around here only wants to talk to us when someone gets hurt. Then they're knocking at our door. They're wanting statements from us. They don't give a crap what happens on a regular Friday at Ush Weekend or Saturday at Maryville. But damn well anybody gets hurt there, they're knocking on our door like ambulance chasers looking for the hot story, and that's what you got here with Bubba right now in the national media.
I worry. I like Bubba Wallace. I'm a fan of his. I think he's a good racer. I think he belongs in NASCAR. I'm concerned that he becomes collateral damage, because in my
100%
opinion,
he is.
Bubba Wallace, he did not spin this story. Like, I don't think Bubba Wallace created this shitstorm, but I think he has been Johnny on the spot.
Thrust
He's been
Yeah, he's been
a
thrust into the role, whether you want it or not. And I think I said the same thing, Christine. Christine, my wife, was the one who she was cheering for Bubba the whole time we were in Daytona. I said, "Who's your guy?" She said, "Bubba, I like him." Well, and I said to her, I said, "Well, I hate to say it, but I think Bubba might be done here. He's got one more year now, because exactly like you said, I'm not because he's a horrible driver or whatever the other people want to say. He's with Petty. He got in there. Whatever you want to do, he's at the top level, but." I do think they're going to chew him up and spit him out, whether he steps away himself or whatever the case may be. I think your collateral damage, prediction on him is spot on. We'll wait and see, and hopefully that doesn't befall it. We want everybody to be strong and rise above whatever they've got going on, but I just don't think NASCAR should have dipped their toe into the political pool, especially at this point in what's gone on. It's been a lot of knee
I
jerk reactions from NASCAR lately on the national level, and it's whether it be the NASCAR, I should say the NASCAR media, because NASCAR themselves, they're trying to manage the deal, but some of the things that have gone on, it's been a little touchy for me.
never let a good crisis go to waste.
No, so Spencer, do we have any of the photos? Do we have any of the stuff we sent? Because we spouted off our opinions, but what do we have that's been shared? What do you got in the backup file there for us? I know a few things. Show a couple of the garage pictures, and again, this is the speculation. Um, Go to the next one, Spencer, if you can.
Yeah, the ones with the lines on them
Keep going.
are better. And that does look like a little noose hanging down from the rope there on the.
There,
Although
that one right
I
there.
can't.
Okay, so So there's it's basically what they're claiming is a hand loop, but this is a truck. So this is Nemechek's truck in the garage. So it's certainly not a racist thing against Bubba. Let's say, who knows who put that noose or the handle on or whatever they're calling it on the rope, but it's just a man. I can't believe it's got blown up the way it has, and there it is in Nemechek's garage.
People
So
are unreasonable. I was like, people just can't. The world has gone crazy, Clinton, and it's right is right and wrong is wrong. And if what was said was true, it was absolutely wrong. Let's do something about it. The fact is, we're never going to know exactly what happened. You know, it's just so frustrating.
Yeah, I'm sad. And can you play the? Can you show the FBI statement I sent Spencer? I think you've got, and this came out around dinner time today. The conclusions from the FBI and their official statement. The FBI has completed its investigation at Talladega Superspeedway and determined that Bubba Wallace was not the target of a hate crime. The FBI report concludes, and photographic evidence confirms that the garage door pull rope fashioned like a noose had been positioned there since as early as last fall. This was obviously well before the 43 team's arrival and garage assignment. We appreciate the FBI's quick and thorough investigation, and we are thankful to learn that this was not an intentional racist act against Bubba. We remain steadfast in our commitment to providing a welcoming and inclusive environment for all who love racing. That's a fair statement from NASCAR. Well worded and just lays the facts out. And I think we needed that yesterday before it all got blown out of proportion.
What
Certainly would have helped.
what strikes me as humorous, and I probably shouldn't find it funny. The fact that yesterday it was a noose and today it's a rope. That's nothing to see here, folks. I'm just a rope.
I just don't think there's anything funny with the situation. Obviously, there's nothing funny with the political climate out there. Anything to do with racism is a horrible thing, and we're going to segue into that a little bit. I think
But
one of the other things I'm real
let's
sad
launch.
about, Adam, is that NASCAR had so much awesome momentum going. A couple weeks ago we were talking about midweek shows, multiple races per week. The product and the NASCAR engine was on fire. It was cooking. New fans coming in. Now we're bringing them in for the wrong reasons. They're coming in for the tabloid reasons, not for the sport reasons. And I'll just leave it at that. And let's segue into Oshweekend.
Yeah.
Oshweekend
So
has. Go ahead.
Ashweekend Speedway is on the Six Nations Reserve. It is home to indigenous people. We call them Native Americans, call them Indians, call them what you want. It is the reservation. The bordering populations, there has been conflict for decades and decades, and at times it's been violent
Centuries.
conflict. Well, exactly. Um, at times it has been really heated. And how many times have we seen that at Ashweekend Speedway, Clinton? A place where people come from within the reservation and from outside of the reservation. How many times have we seen it boil over?
Not once that I can recall.
Never. Not a single time can I recall. And Clinton, you and I have been there since basically the beginning. On Friday nights, we go to the races and we enjoy being around each other. And if we get into fights, it's because we're pissed off at each other. Because of something that the other person did, or because something that we think the other person did, or because of a racing accident. It's all to do with the event, with the passion for motorsports, and nothing to do with the color of a person's skin or their ancestry. And each and every Friday night, we do not need the FBI. We do not need law enforcement to come in and separate the white people from the black people from any other race or any other religion or any other ancestry. We all get along. We all coexist in a space because we love racing, and we don't need accolades for it either. We just do it because that's what we're there to do. And that's what should be going on now. But everything has to be a political statement, and it's ridiculous. It's overwhelming.
Yeah, I just want to say, Shweekin has flourished um, as an amazing gathering place in the middle of all the chaos that's gone on politically around it with the surrounding communities. And it's been a great place where we've all got together. It's flourished. It's been awesome to show off the native culture to a lot of the visitors who come there, whether that be through the smoke dances or the way people are treated up there. We're super proud at Ushweekend of the way our fans get handled, and we want everybody to be taken well care of and experience how beautiful Six Nations is. You and I have been around there 25 years now. We know how awesome it is. If you all you got to do is meet Glenn or anybody from his family, and you realize how amazing the culture and the people there are. And I think that's been one thing that we've been very proud of. And we've never let that cross into a race night, as you said. I remember one night, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, they had the protest going on, and two protesters strutted in their fatigues and their masks, and they walked up, and I was in the booth as a young guy, and I had the microphone. They said, "We want to talk," and we just, we had to be strong. This isn't the place, man. And thankfully they left, and they respected the wishes, and the races went on, and there's been so many great things that have come from it. And I think everybody realizes the races should be a place where we can go and be a family because of racing, not because of where we come from or what lines we're going to draw in the sand that says you're from there and I'm from here, So, that's where I want to end the racism talk if we can. It's been terrible what's gone on in the past 48 hours, no matter what side you're on. It's not good for any of the racing business itself, other than we'll bring viewers for the wrong reasons. But let's move on to some positive stuff. So I got out to see Glenn Stiers yesterday, had a good meeting with the boss man. And the new front wall is being constructed. We'll bring you video of that next week. It's being formed and getting in place this week. It'll take about 2 weeks to get together. The barricades have come down to Six Nations, and we're going to start figuring out where we can go from here. I was asked by Chris Long yesterday about micro sprints, and I'll see if I can bring up his exact question for me regarding micro sprints. And I actually posed it right to Glenn. And Chris Long said to me, "Can we have an update on go-karts and micro sprints tomorrow on the show? With the reserve open and our program not being spectator driven, many inquiries have been given regarding practice and racing." Chris says he tells him he'll know when he knows. Well, Glenn said hopefully in a few weeks we can try and get some practices going for the go-karts and maybe in micro sprints and possibly get things going in that department. So that is some great positive news from Ushweekend. And once the wall gets complete on the front straightaway, we had talked about possibly doing some limited number of practices. So meaning we would allow a certain number of teams to come in on a first come, first serve registration basis and get you some track time. The track was reawakened by the team last week, meaning it was groomed, prepped, and Glenn himself took about 10 laps on Friday just to test things out before the rains came. And, so things are moving in the right direction for Ushweekend. We're still on hold with all our major events, so don't buy tickets, but if you got tickets, just hold tight. We're still waiting to see where things go going forward with that. But that's some good Ushweekend news, Adam. And I got to tell you, more plans for construction have gone on. There's been a lot of talks about continuous expansion, and Glenn Stiers has not slowed down at all as far as this COVID thing has gone. Continues to make plans to make Ushweekend the best racing place around, and super excited to be a part of that.
Yeah, and it shows, Clinton. We've got a lot of people who are very proud of the work that gets done at Ushweekend Speedway, and some of us are a real small part, and others of us, like yourself, are a real big part of it. And it's just the machine keeps on rolling.
I just want to go back to one thing that when you said, sometimes we fight. I want to say next week we don't really do that. I mean, it happens so rare, and I think that comes because since we started running the deal, and that'd be like when I say we, it'd be like me, Doug, and back in for the last 5 or 10 years, anyways. When Doug's been we're the guys answering the drivers at the end of the night. I think the big thing is, we tried to breed a culture of we're a family there. You know what I mean? Let's talk about it. Let's not just attack, and let's work this out. And even when an outside racer comes up and they have a bad attitude, it's amazing to see our own hometown racers kind of be like, "Hey, man, don't talk to him that way." And not necessarily mean whether it be Bob or, Sue Bell in the day or whatever. Like our family stands up for each other, and we're super proud of that, no matter where you're from, whether it be Six Nations or Hamilton or Brantford or London or New York. If you're an Ushweekend racer, we see that by the culture we've bred to them with the big O proud hashtag and everybody putting their stuff up. I had a guy like Jason Tolton message me yesterday, said, hey, I got a lot of space on my car. What can I do to thank the stream team? You got a logo we can put on the car? Can we do something to thank you guys for helping do what you do and putting this out there? So, we've done a great job of kind of, breeding that into them. And we're not going to tear each other down. We're going to build each other up. And it's so great to see. Super proud of what we've got. And I think that's why we've got so many people who want to race with us at the Big O going forward. So I don't have a lot of great news concrete, but that's where we are. A couple of our racers want to send a shout out to them. I see Alex Hill and Dylan Westbrook are working on getting ready to race with the ASCS again. So some of our racers, a lot of the guys have been practicing, and girls, I should say too. I know some of the lady racers have been out and getting it done, but we're excited to get some of the Oshweekend drivers back at it at Merrittville this weekend. We got a couple minutes left. If there's anything anybody wants to talk about, any questions or comments we should address, Adam, and I'll look back through it. Anything you see that we should be talking about here tonight?
I
think we
just
covered
grabbed my
most of it.
remote. Yeah, I think we did. I grabbed my remote to plunk up Rev TV. It looks like 9:30 is when the guide says it's coming on, if that's
It's
correct or
actually
not.
9. No, I spoke to Mike Garrow today, the president of Rev TV Canada. He said there was an issue with the guides. It is going to air at 9. It says All North Racing at 9:30, but it actually should be Operation Green Flag at 9 p.m. So check that out here in 3 minutes' time. 2 minutes' time now, and we'll be ready to go. So we're going to wrap this show up. We'll give you a chance to grab a quick bathroom break, grab a drink. The Lockdown Showdown, Mission 1 from Humberstone is coming up on Rev TV here at 9 p.m. and again at midnight with an encore presentation. If you've also got something going on at 9, you can watch it at midnight. 3 hours later, it'll re-air, and again Thursday at 9 p.m. So check that out. That is Operation Green Flag, Mission Humberstone, the Lockdown Showdown with the 358 Modifieds and the Thunderstocks. I think it's features only. We trimmed it down to. It's a 1-hour program, so give it a whirl. Anything else,
Now,
Adam?
Gary said something interesting. Gary, we've got you here. Were you serious about TJ Marshall wanting to help John Carly fix that race car? Gary made a comment when we talked about that it was a 2-car wreck. John Carly got up on top of the wall after contact from Marshall, who had initially who won the race, and there was some contact between the two of them. And I'm never sure sometimes if Gary's joking or if he's serious, but I'd like to hear a little bit more from him if he's got that answer. So Gary, pipe up with that comment. Let me know if that's for real or not, because I could see them doing it. TJ Marshall, his dad Randy Marshall, Jim Swears, great bunch of guys. They've got a jig plate at Swearsy's shop, so I mean I'm sure that they could get the work done if it needed to be done. So we will wait anxiously for Gary to spell out his response.
So if you can't wait to see that race, once again, you can log here on the channel, gforcetv.net. It is the Flamborough event from June 20th, and you can watch that in its entirety or wait around till next week when it will have its debut on Rev TV Canada. And I think that's it, Adam. We'll wrap things up. Want to say thanks to everybody for joining us last week. Hopefully you enjoy the program. For all you Flamborough fans, make sure you join us for live action again this Saturday from Merrittville Speedway. Program will kick off at 7 p.m. with a 3-division show of some of the best up-and-coming dirt racers in the land. So we're excited to get that going. Thanks, Spencer, for everything you do. He's been working overtime here on Operation Green Flag. I know a lot of our crews beat up. Greg hurt his back. Spencer's got discs. I got something going on in my mouth with my abscess infection in my face or something. I don't know if you can see, but I showed up Flamborough all
You look.
puffed out. So thankfully I had my mask
I
on.
didn't want to mention it. Yeah, I didn't want to mention it in case that you didn't want to bring it up, but I was going to say you look much, much better today.
No, I'm dying
I
still.
keep
I'm still all swollen right here. It's terrible, but Chrissy's been taking care of me, so we're gonna survive, and I'll get through it. But I'm done talking. Gonna go rest this face, and we'll see everybody soon. Hopefully, you
well,
enjoy the program.
hang on. Don't log off yet. I want to see if it comes up on the TV screen because you can see my celebratory face. We got to be close. It's after 8:59. There's an Arctic Air ad on right now. They must be a little bit. They must be a little bit late because it's actually 9:01 by my TV, by the official guide. At least it's not Dr. Ho. I heard enough of Dr. Ho last year.
We appreciate everybody sticking around. We've kind of got a great viewership that joins us every week. We certainly appreciate. And if there's anything you want us to talk about, any topics you want us to tackle, send them to us throughout the week. And once again, if you're interested in those face masks, let us know. We can get them to you for $5 or $15, depending on which model you want. We'll have them ready at the Operation Green Flag events this weekend and going forward. Well,
Still nothing. It's still Arctic air. It's like I said, it's like Dr. Ho. He just never goes away. But it's gotta be close enough now. Just 2 payments of $29.99.
Do we need the drum roll? Spencer says it's coming up.
It's on. Operation Green Flag. Okay. I'm out of here. I'm gonna watch some Humberstone on the TV.
All right. See you guys. Tune in to Rev TV Canada, which is formerly Mav TV Canada, just been rebranded, to check out our first round of Operation Green Flag Lockdown Showdown for Humberstone. Thanks, Spencer. Thanks to our entire crew on the weekend. Rest up, Adam. We'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for joining us here on Race Rivalz Chat.